guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do an update to a pretty popular video I covered about a week ago, which is titled, Girlfriend Surprise Party Prank on Boyfriend Leads to an Even Bigger Surprise for Her Getting Dumped. And as a recap, guys, because that was like 9 days ago, that's all about the guy who turned 30 recently, and his girlfriend, for his birthday, was planning a special evening, if you will. He was looking forward to it, all that. He was thinking about proposing to her one of these days. Went to meet her at the restaurant, and guess what? She wasn't there. He was led to a big table with all these chairs and decorations like he was going to have a big party, and nobody showed up. And he felt like a complete fool and humiliated and all that. Goes home, as you recall, and then surprise, they're all there in his apartment. But he just absolutely just could not believe the amount of disrespect and how they just treated him that way. And now he felt like a complete fool, got his stuff and walked out. And he's done with her and the friends, or mostly done with her and the friends. And she's trying to get him back and all that. And I said to him this, because he was wanting to know if he overreacted. And I said to him, as well as the vast majority, as you said, that she's just immature, no empathy, no common sense, and all those friends are a bunch of jackasses. And I'd be done with her. But he'd been with her for 6 years, thinking about proposing to her, so she was a big chunk of his life. Well, anyhow, I said to him what I thought, and he wrote back. He wrote back, and I'm sure I know a lot of you guys wanted to hear what happened, and this guy, let's just say it's not, none of you guys are going to be surprised how this whole thing turns out. And so I wanted to cover this because he wanted to, share his story, and you guys wanted an update on this. And so let's just see how it goes and see if you guys were right about her and them and all that. So it starts off, or it continues, he says, "Hello again, SSM. I sent my question to your Ask SSM channel the other day, and you and your community really helped me out. You called the video blah, blah, blah. Even the folks that said I was overreacting gave me something to think about. The consensus was I made the right decision to walk out that night. It's been a month, and I'm still hung up on what they did to me, but I decided after reading all the recommendations to give Vicki and our friends a chance to explain what they were thinking." Okay. Well, let's see how that goes. Let's see if I'm right about her and these friends, and if the majority of the guys in the audience here are right about her. Take your bets, guys. How do you think this is going to turn out? It says here, and I'm not going to lie, some of the recommendations for various revenge was hilarious, and there were a few that were downright scary. I know who not to piss off. Well, you don't want to fuck with anybody that watches this channel. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to drop some advice. You have no idea how much it helped to find out that I'm not crazy for feeling the way that I did. Oh, and there are a few people that asked if pranks were a normal part of our relationship. No, they are not. Yeah, I was wondering that. But again, guys, remember, he was there for like an hour, which I never would have done, but he was there for an hour sitting alone, feeling like a complete jackass, like a fool, And yeah, you can say he was a fool for waiting that long, but the point is, and I suspected, this is the crap people do nowadays, to get attention on TikTok. They'll humiliate somebody, they'll record them secretly, and then, they'll play the big prank on them and all that. I was waiting for that. Anyhow, ever since I walked out, Vicki's been trying to get me to come home and talk to her, but I kept putting it off. I didn't want to talk while I was still pissed off. The problem is the anger never went away. After spending a few days reading all the comments from the video, I decided it was time, and yesterday I called and told her I was going to be at the apartment earlier today at 7 p.m. to talk to her, and I wanted all our friends there that were also a part of it in the apartment. Okay, so you're going to have it out with them. Sounds like you're not going to be able to move on until you have it out with them. Okay. I want all of them there in the same room, and I went into it with an open mind. I was going to give them a chance without my interruptions to explain what they were thinking and why they thought it was a good idea. Vicki agreed immediately and said she'd make sure everybody was there. Well, that was yesterday, and I just got back from our little meeting, and our relationship is over. Well, how about that? I guess she wasn't as sorry as she thought she was trying to come across, or these so-called friends. Gee, I hate it when I'm right all the time. I shouldn't have been surprised how everything went down, but I am. If they could have shown me that there wasn't malice in what they did, I was willing to chalk it up as a learning lesson. But things went sideways almost from the beginning. Well, shocker, They're a bunch of assholes. They've proven through their actions to be a bunch of assholes that treat you like, they treat you like a joke with no respect. I'd rather be alone than have people in my life that treat me that way because I couldn't handle being alone. Well, when I walked into the apartment, I froze. I was expecting everyone to be waiting for me to talk, maybe talking to each other and to make sure their excuses all matched up. That's not what happened at all. I heard it before I saw it. As soon as I got close to my door, I could hear the music playing, but didn't think much of it until I opened the door. Sprawled out on every seat in the apartment was Vicki and our friends, laughing, drinking, and generally having a good time. I was coming over to talk about something serious, and they were having a party. Now, I wouldn't expect them to be sitting around meditating and being quiet, but yeah, they're having a big party like it's no big deal and a joke. As soon as Vicki saw me, she jumped up with a smile and ran over and wrapped me in a hug like it was any other day. Some of our friends gave me casual nods and waves, but it looked like they thought the issue was already solved and life was going on normally. One of them even tried to hand me a beer. I was getting pissed, but I held back. I wasn't there to drink and play nice. I wanted someone to explain why they thought it would be fun to humiliate me. I don't blame you, man, and that's exactly what they did. All of them. But like I said in the other video, they're very immature. But that's kind of a stereotype of your generation, And I'm sure they're all 20s or maybe early 30s. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you get my point. It's hard to be stoic when you're furious, but I did my best. I walked over to the stereo, turned it off. It was the first time since I walked in that I had everybody's attention. I was looking at Vicki, but was talking to all of them, and I said, "You wanted me over here to talk. I'm here, and instead of any of you talking this seriously, you're having a fucking party." The room was dead silent, with all of them looking around each other with what looked like confusion on most of their faces. Well, I have a question. What message did Vicki, your now ex, relay to all of them? That this was serious, or don't just come on over? I have to wonder. Vicki was startled for a few seconds, but asked me to calm down so we could talk. I told her, "You have one chance to explain what you were thinking." Without another word, I found a seat, sat down, and waited. One of our friends tried to laugh it off, and I said I was taking everything too seriously. Right there, this individual, whoever it was, is showing they don't give a shit. I looked at him for a second when nobody else said anything. I told Vicki to explain why she thought what they did was funny. She looked like she was on the verge of tears. There's a fucking surprise. And she said that she was so sorry. She said they didn't think I would react like I did. Oh, okay. If the situation was reversed and you did this whole thing, and she was there alone for... You telling me she wouldn't react the same way? I said, "So, you're sorry I got angry? Not that you pulled that stupid prank on me, right?" She tried to backtrack, saying that wasn't what she meant, and I cut her off. I told her, "I'm not here for your apologies. I'm here for an explanation that will convince me that you didn't intentionally humiliate me on my birthday." Yeah, not to mention your 30th birthday. That's a big deal. A few of our friends were saying that I was overreacting and making a big deal of a joke, and I lost it a little bit. I don't blame you, man. And again, they don't give a shit. These people are assholes. I said, "You all sent me to a restaurant expecting to have dinner. Instead, I just sat there for almost an hour alone, being publicly humiliated. It cost me $100 to get out of there with a shred of dignity, and then when I got home, I found all you assholes having my party without me. You stole my 30th birthday from me, and now I'll never have another birthday without thinking about this. Exactly what was funny about that?" Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you, man. And that's what happened. At least a few of them had the decency to look ashamed. We all stared at each other for a couple minutes, and when it didn't look like they were going to say anything, I looked at Vicki and told her, "Look, you're the one that asked me to come so you could explain. Start explaining." This should be good. Well, she did. She started explaining their entire plan, while repeating that they never thought I would get so angry. Basically, the plan was to get me out of the way so they would have time to decorate the apartment before I got home. She thought that I would get there, notice that nobody was at the table, and leave and go home. She never thought I would sit there and wait. I cut her off and told her that I waited because I was the guest of honor, and I didn't want to make her look bad like an idiot, but not being there after she invited so many people, so I waited until it was clear that nobody was coming. If they wanted to do that, the whole, like, throw a party and keep you away until they got ready to go, then why didn't she have one of your buddies go hang out with you or something like that and then take you back to the apartment? That's what normal people do in a situation like that, not humiliate you. Come on. Or she met up with you and then you went back to the apartment and then surprise and all that shit. Then she told me that one of her friends was at the bar in the restaurant the entire time watching me, and yes, making videos of me sitting there. Aha! What'd I tell you? I thought that was probably going to happen. Recording you there, alone, looking around, looking depressed, and then eventually recording you when you walked in the door, and they can put that shit on TikTok right here. Stupid shit. Fucking jerk-offs. She said they were about to have that friend come and tell me something came up and the plans had changed, but I left before they figured out how to spin it and still make it a surprise. You were there for like an hour. You tell me this moron friend couldn't figure out something to say after like 10 minutes? Really? That's bullshit. That friend was the one that let them know I was on my way so they could have the lights out when I got there. I still have no idea how they made it to my place before me, but whatever. They were all swearing that they never intended to hurt me or ruin my birthday. Even with the explanation, I still couldn't wrap my mind around it. If they wanted me to get out of my way for a little bit, there were 100 other options they could have done instead of publicly humiliating me. Yeah, that's what I said. Again, you could have gone out with somebody and kept you busy, then took you home. He says, hell, there were even more than enough of them. One person could have been at my side as a decoy. Vicki was promising me over and over that she never thought I would take the joke so poorly and keep trying to apologize. Again, Vicki and your jerk-off ex-friends just have no common sense and no decency, no empathy. But again, their actions show you what they really thought of you. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the fucking truth. I thought about everything for a little while, ended up going to my room to try to get some quiet time. Vicki wanted to come with me, but I told her I just need a minute to think to myself, so she left, and I was alone. I thought about everything they said to me, and what I realized was that even their apologies didn't fit. They were sorry I got angry, not that they didn't. That made me question everything else, particularly if they were trying to humiliate me on purpose. So, a lot of times friend groups, guys, I'm sure you've noticed this, might have somebody in the friend group that, they like to poke fun at and give a hard time to varying degrees. And you can tell they really don't respect that guy or gal. And, and it happens. And that guy or gal should leave that friend group. And it sounds like you, my friend, were kind of like that person based on their actions. After about 10 minutes, I went back to the living room and sat down. I told Vicki that I didn't believe her and that now I don't trust her. I may as well have smacked her in the face for how she reacted. She was stunned that I didn't just blindly take her at her word, and she said I wasn't being fair. F you. What are you, 4 years old? That's not fair. I asked her if she even loved me, and she broke down crying, swearing she did. Oh, here we go with the waterworks, the oldest manipulation tactic in the book. I told her since we started dating, I was dedicated to her, and I loved her and our relationship. I even pulled out the ring that I bought and set it on the table in front of her. Oh boy. If you thought you were seeing the waterworks, now you're going to see Niagara Falls now. I told her that I'd been considering proposing to her after my birthday because I wanted to be at least 30 years old before getting married. There's a good idea. But I had been thinking about it for over a year. She was still crying, but also shocked and looking at the ring. I don't know, was she looking at the ring like, that's it? That's all you got me? I told her I wanted to believe in her, but now that I know how easily she can lie to me, it was hard to even take her word at face value. She was still begging me to trust her, and I told her this is easily enough to solve, and everything is, as you said, I'll chalk it up to bad judgment and stupidity. But if it's not, our relationship is over. She looked shocked and scared, but she told me she would do anything because she loves me. There are so many stereotypes in this story, but guys, they all follow the same handbook, the Hobag Handbook. They all say the same fucking things. I learned a valuable lesson that night. When a woman tells you that she'll do anything, what she's really saying is she'll do anything or she'll do the bare minimum to make whatever problem there is go away. We've heard this countless times. I told them I knew she'd been planning everything for at least a week, and that I had no doubt that at least a few of our friends were in on it and helped her. I said, this is easy enough to clear up. Unlock your phone right now and hand it to me. If your conversation is getting this arranged showed me there was no intention of hurting me, I'll let it go. That's a clever little trick you're doing, man. In other words, let me see your phone. And, well, watch this. Now, this is where she unlocks her phone, hands it to me without a care in the world. I check it, see it was exactly like she said, and the whole issue is forgiven. But, of course, that's actually not what happened. As soon as I said, let me see your phone, I'm not sure if it was involuntary, reflex, or conscious decision, but she gripped her phone tight and pulled it to her chest. How interesting, because if she's innocent and has nothing to hide, of course she'd show you her phone. She said she couldn't believe that I didn't trust her and would invade her privacy like that. What happened to 5 minutes ago when you said you'll do anything to fix the relationship and prove how you can trust her and all that? As long as you don't look at her phone history and who she's talking to and all that. I said, call it what you want to, but this is a very simple to clear up. You said you would do anything, and I'm asking to see your phone to prove that you aren't lying to me. She hesitated and said she didn't feel comfortable letting me go through her phone and asked if there was any other way she could prove that she was telling the truth. And I shook my head, already knowing the answer. If she's not showing you her phone, bro, there are things that she doesn't want you to see. And this only adds up to how she's been treating you and the other friends. And let's just say she's up to no good behind the scenes with another dude. I guarantee you some of those friends know maybe that dude is there. I said to her I was going to give you my life, and you won't even give me your phone. I said either what you told me was a lie or there's something else on your phone that would be even worse if I found out. I'm not sure if she even noticed, but she flinched when she said, nothing big, but I've known her for 6 years and I know her reactions. What I was seeing was guilt. At first, she didn't do anything but stare at me, but she just shook her head, mumbling like that was crazy. I didn't say anything. I waited and everybody in the room looked nervous. I didn't wait long. I got up and already made up my mind. I said, okay. After putting the ring back in my pocket, I headed for the door. Vicki freaked out and caught up to me before I made it out. She asked me what I was doing. I brushed her hands off my arm and told her I was leaving and that we are done. Hallelujah. I guess we're going to go back to the waterworks now. It was one of the first times in our relationship that her mouth was opened. Did you really just say that? I'm sure her mouth's been opened more times than we can mention, man. But no words came out. I looked back at our so-called friends, who were just all watching with looks of shock on their faces, and I said, I hope that whichever one of you is fucking her will help her move out by the end of the weekend. Nice. And by the way, man, I'm sorry this happened to you. This was your girlfriend for 6 years you spent with her, and these are people you thought were your friends. I mean, you're handling this well, but I'm sorry it happened to you. As soon as I said it, Vicki got angry and said I wasn't being fair and only wanted to hurt her because of a joke. Now you're the bad guy, huh? I told her calmly, I might add, that I wasn't trying to hurt her or punish her. I was trying to find the truth, and whatever was on her phone was more important to hide than our relationship. Then I turned and walked out. The last time I saw Vicki, she was on her knees in the foyer crying. On her knees. I'm not going to touch that one. Today's Thursday, and I'm giving her until the end of the weekend to get her stuff and leave. Good luck with that, man. She called me a few times on my way back to my parents, and on the third one, she asked me to come back, and she would let me look at her phone. Oh, for God's sakes. What, after she's wiped the phone of all evidence? Yeah, a little too late, sweetheart. I asked her if she thought I was stupid and hung up. Really? So that's it. The relationship is over, and I'm going to spend some time working on myself. I've been in a relationship for so long that I need to rediscover who I am. Yeah, man, 6 years with her is that's a big chunk of your life. That's like 20% of your life. You're not used to being a bachelor, a single guy. You're used to being a we. I'm hitting the gym right now. That might be hitting the gym might not be. Let me start it. Hitting the gym. I'm sick, guys. Bear with me here. I was on a flight back yesterday, a red-eye flight from Los Angeles, and I'm caught something, but show must go on. Okay, 3 times the charm. Hitting the gym might be my first next step. I have no idea if she was cheating on me, but whatever was on her phone was bad enough to know that she knew if I saw it, it was over. I'm afraid she was cheating on you. But yes, hit the gym. That's a good idea. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. What she demonstrated is that I can't trust her. Not much to say after that. The one thought that kept bouncing around in my head was on the drive, wondering how many parties they've had at my place in the month I've been gone. What a fucking shit show. So I wanted to end this with my thanks to you and your community for helping me see through the noise in my head. I can't remember which poster said it, but it was something along the lines of, if she can do this to you before you're married, how much fun will it be afterwards? The commenter was right. This is the level of respect she gives me after 6 years. I can't imagine it getting better. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, man. She doesn't respect you. I keep thinking to myself that if the roles had been reversed, I would have been labeled a toxic asshole for doing something so horrible to my girlfriend. You would have. All those friends who enjoyed my birthday without me would have been lined up with torches and pitchforks trying to run me out of town. I guess I dodged a bullet, but it still hurts. You did dodge a big one, but yes, of course it still hurts, because you're going to question everything now. Anyway, thanks for the kick in the pants. I need to make a decision. I already know the calls and texts and emails are coming. I've already changed my email, worked out the details of the bills, and since everything's in my name, it should be easy to move her out of my life. It's not going to be easy to move her out of your life because she's not going to back down so easily, I'm telling you now. But yes, there are some advantages here. When she's gone, I'm even thinking about changing my phone number. I don't trust her or any of those so-called friends, and I want to cut any possible ties to them. Well, then, that's going to be tricky if they all live in the area. It might be extreme, but I've been friends with most of them for years. I need a clean break, and I don't want to think about them anymore. If they can do that to me on my 30th birthday with a smile, I can only imagine how jacked up the next prank will be. It's going to be strange moving on, but I'm actually excited to see where life takes me now. Wish me luck, and thanks again for all the words of wisdom. Well, there you go, man. You know, it makes me think of the scene in Jurassic Park when Dr. Ian Malcolm says something like, "Boy, I hate it when I'm right all the time." But I've been doing this a while, and I'm 47, been around the block. And I'm not at all surprised how things turned out. And given her behavior, she probably was cheating on you. Or there were things in that phone she didn't want you to see. And the whole, I'll do anything to fix this bullshit. But man, she was an asshole. Those friends are assholes. And I would now take it one day at a time. And she's going to try to get you to change your mind. And your so-called friends are going to try to get you to change your mind. They're going to bombard you with texts and emails and phone calls and showing up at your work probably or some damn thing, but stick to your guns and what your decision is. Make it clear it ain't no going back. And then she'll probably go from begging to hating on you too, but it is what it is. When you reach a point you don't give a shit, you don't need anybody, and you don't have attachments, nobody can hurt you. Or mostly. So take it one day at a time. Go to the gym. You'll feel better every day. Focus on the big picture. Hang out with people that do care about you. You know, go back to your family for a while because I know you said you were there. And that's all I have to say, you know. And again, your instincts, your gut told you it was wrong, and you follow your gut, you know. And I know some people watching this told you were overreacting. I saw some of those. I don't think you did. And I don't blame you at all. And the vast majority of guys agree with you. So the hell with them. But I would just make sure, if in the future, if you're that guy, no offense, but if you're that guy that whenever you have a friend group is the guy people tend to like, you know, poke fun at, or you know what I mean, that guy, there's a lot of times that guy in different friend groups, really take a look at maybe what you're saying or doing that would cause people to treat you that way, because sometimes people are like that. No matter where they go, they tend to be the butt of the jokes, that type of thing, you know. And I've known guys like this throughout my life, you know. And just beware of what you're saying and doing and stuff like that. But anyhow, man, I'm sorry it happened to you. It's a shitty memory for your 30th birthday, but you have the power and potential to get your life back on track, and you reach the point that you don't need people. You're happy on your own. Then you're not going to settle for assholes. When people are douchebags, you can just walk End of story. It's people that have a hard time being alone, that'd rather be around douchebags than being alone. That's the problem here. And nobody respects someone that kisses other people's asses and hangs around when they treat them badly, you know? So I think you're really going to have a major life change after this whole thing. And believe me, she's not going to stop trying, you know, because you've damaged her pride. I'm sure she's probably a good-looking girl, easily get guys' attention and all that. But you're having the last laugh. Although it's not what you wanted. And yes, you dodged a big one because you could have been proposed to her and engaged to her and married her. And it would have been a mess of a marriage. You married her. So, bro, good to hear from you, and take it one day at a time. And if there's more interesting stuff down the road with her and drama and everything, let me know. We'd all like to hear your update. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.